Hello there everyone, how you doing today? Welcome back to the channel ran entirely by Dr. Pepper and Autistic Thoughts. Today we're reading stories from entitled parents, where the parents are, as the name may imply, very entitled. If you enjoy, remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and without further ado, let's get started, shall we? I told my dad I couldn't really read what he wrote with AI, and he threatened me with his anger. I originally posted this in another subreddit, which explains more and why I didn't want to read the books my dad wrote. TLDR, they are AI written and are very abstract in a field I am currently not interested in. But my dad thinks his new methodologies are genius and wants me to master it first. I have been avoiding a direct phone call with my dad until just now. I moved to a new city and am about to start grad school, which kept me busy for the past few weeks. During this time, he has sent me shorter intro chapters and 2 more books made by himself and AI. I actually read the intro chapter, which is more of his own personal experience and understanding, and did appreciate that. However, I took a look at the new books with theoretical ideas, suggestion, new thought approaches of problem solving, and immediately lost interest, feeling like I learned enough and this is irrelevant. Well, today I decided to be blunt with my dad and told him that I will not be reading his book and learning about his groundbreaking theories ahead of time. I said I'm not interested and would rather learn about his awesome ideas at the time of the book's publication. He did say that the book caught the attention of several other people, probably other AI bros. My dad responded that my rejection did not matter and I should still read his newest book. He found it ridiculous that his own daughter would refuse to read this advanced ideology. He went on talking about how great and defying status quo it is, and stressed that I have to read it for my graduate study. I'm not going into philosophy studies or anything purely theoretical. I asked him again if it's written by AI because this time the intro felt very personal and realistic. Guess what? The ideas are all his, but the writing is all done by AI. I fear that I can't even recognize AI writing and told him that I don't even need to proofread because the AI did such a good job. Ew! My dad was like, well, now you're suddenly so rebellious, and I refuted. If that's the case, I wouldn't even politely and reasonably inform you that I can't read it. I'll just not do it. Well, you have to! I don't see how you can force me. Plus, I'm not going to remember anything if I don't read it with interest. Right before he hung up on me, my dad, slightly fed up, said I must finish reading the second book no matter what, and that I'd better not risk his rage. I mean, I'm like an ocean away from him. Hopefully nothing bad happens, but man, my dad turned out to be an egotistic old guy. Hang on, narrator has to go off the screen and do something real quick. I'm sorry, I had to puke at the mention of AI in that story. That was extremely painful. Please don't make me read about AI ever again, Mr. Subreddit. I will stab you in the gut if you make me do that. Anyway, on to the next story, shall we? My mom calls me an asshole in front of children. So for context, I work at a famous restaurant chain. I'm not gonna say which one, cause I don't want to get in trouble. And this happened back in late December. So I work as a server, and this woman, who I'd say was in her mid-50s, had just finished her dinner with somebody who I assume was her teen daughter. Nothing weird happened until they finished paying the bill. After I pick up the bill when they're leaving, I tell them, "Happy holidays, folks." It seems innocent. Words, can you participate with me? It seems innocent enough. And that's when the mom got up in my face and said, it's Merry Christmas, asshole. I was so shocked by this because I didn't expect that at work. I live in a country that's pretty accepting of my atheist beliefs. I could see the daughter was getting annoyed by her too, and she was trying to defuse the situation. She then asked me to repeat what I said. I said, "Happy holidays," but kind of questioning what I did wrong. She then told me to get my manager. Me, not believing that I was dealing with this, went to go get my awesome manager. She then laid into him about how I was discriminating against her and fellow Christians by saying Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, ho ho ho, you're a hoe. My manager almost got into a shouting match with her because she just started insulting me for no reason. This caused a whole scene, and I already hate conflict, so I just left the area and tended to the other tables. As she was leaving, I could see her take the cash tip she left me out of the checkbook. When I saw the receipt, it said, "Go fuck yourself, you anti-Christian douche." Wow. I went to go show this to my manager, and my manager was so sweet that I was able to get free food for the next week because of how well they said I handled it. The daughter actually came personally and apologized to her mother's behavior. For her mother's behavior. She had forgotten her coat, which I left at the host's desk. I go, "You don't have to do that," and she said, "Yes, I do. This always happens with my mom around Christmas time." She handed me a $10 bill and said, "It's not the whole tip, but you were so good with us tonight. Rest be assured I will still be telling people happy holidays because not all people celebrate Christmas." There is no hate like Christian love, dear Lord Almighty. I'm getting tired of my parents constantly trying to control my life. Hello, so basically they constantly want me to visit them whenever they want, and that they call me on the phone at a random day at a random time. If I don't answer the phone, I get multiple calls per day and then get guilt-tripped with death with stereotypical, "We're worried for you, you didn't answer the phone," with a tone like I was dying or something. I already told them they're not entitled to call me at any time, let alone visit me at any time. For example, during a heat wave, I didn't want to take a 2-hour train ride in the heat just to please them. But they don't listen. Recently, I've ignored calls and the same scenario happened again. I'm extremely tired of the disrespect and talking to them only leading to gaslighting like, "Oh, I don't like your tone," or pretending to never multi-call even when I show screenshots. I am not a disposable that can come and go whenever they want regardless of conditions. I'm extremely tired and they take such a big toll on my mental health that I have anxiety anticipating their calls and the pressure they'll put on me. I don't know how to explain it, but life would be simpler without them. They stress me out too much. Recently, I've been stressed out about calling them back and confronting them. Yet I have done nothing wrong, and obviously receiving multiple voice notes, WhatsApps, calls talking about how they're worried despite the last time they called being less than a week ago. The reason I don't want to be around them is the fact that they're religious zealots and rejected me for not being religious. I haven't formally said that. I don't believe in God to them. I was just not practicing their religion. They put pressure on me to follow it. I then left the house to be free. Since then, they try to put even more control on me. I never talk about anything in my life to them. I just visit them out of shame. But I don't think it will keep on going on. I am becoming financially independent, and they do not help me with anything, even when I didn't have a job. I pay my rent and all my stuff alone with no help. I am scared, however, because they have my address in their possession. I am reaching a breaking point, and I don't know what to do. Update. I called them and confronted them, and I told them they called me 4 days ago and I answered, so if I don't understand the last 2 days, it's not a problem, and they have to give me room. I was a bit mad, but they cut the call short as I predicted. I told them it's not because I don't answer for 2 days that they have the right to spam my phone. I did not come to tell them they can't put pressure on me because they... Okay, the English this poster's doing here is absolutely terrible, and their capitalization is terrible as well. I don't think I can properly read this update. But long story short, they confronted their parents. The parents cut the call short. Nothing got resolved. Okay. Another male Karen! Yay! This is getting out of hand. While I was eating breakfast, I heard strange noises coming from outside. I also heard the rattle of my fence, it's old, from some kid trying to, I don't know, climb it? The dad was helping, but he didn't get far until I came out to see what was going on. The minute I did, he said, "This one again." I called the dog, Lucky, inside and asked the guy, "Did you need something?" He said, "Don't make me slap you. Don't make me come over there and slap you." And he started swearing at me. I asked him why he was here. His wife was there too with a black dog, which is about 1.5 times bigger than mine, and he kept swearing at me. I told him to go away politely at first, but I told him to F off and went inside. But when he kept repeating, "I'm gonna slap you, you're lucky I was not on your property," etc., and after 2 minutes I went to close the window, German design, it was half open, and said, "Your mom should have had an abortion," and closed it. Well, they didn't leave after I went inside, so he heard me, and I could see him charging at the window. He began slamming his fist on the glass until his wife dragged him away, at which point they finally left. There's no damage to the glass, just the man's ego. Lol. I don't know why it's so hard not to be harassed in my own home. Okay, well, it's not mine, I live with a guardian as I am in college, but still, some people just piss me off, man. There were others that used to do this. Come do the fence and let the kids climb it, but after a little while of telling them not to, like reasonable human beings, they stopped. It wasn't hard for them to, stubborn old ladies included, so why is it so hard for these idiots? I'm sorry, I just needed to rant. I'm still blinded by rage and shaking. The comeback was funny though. I know I shouldn't have said it, but come on, you can't threaten someone and expect them to take it with grace. But I also think you shouldn't have been trying to break the window. I don't know, that's just my opinion as a person with common sense. Also, what do you expect me to do? Unlock the fence gate and take the dog to him? Let them be at the very old, very one gust of wind away from falling fence and let the sun climb it? Also, if the sun climbed the fence and went over it, how would he expect him to get the sun back over? And what if the fence collapsed out of the way and injured somebody? What then? Narrator interrupting real quick, because I can tell you exactly what he would do. He would blame you and sue you because his son got hurt on your property. Because double standards do not exist to Karens of any gender. Anyway, back to the story. The fence has square holes as part of its design, but they're too small to put your hands in them. Even mine are too big, and I have small hands. Also, the fence is stable for the majority of the time, but if you pulled like this or a heavy weight on it, I'm sure someone might get hurt. Also, it's too broke to repair. Why did they stay? Were they hoping I'd come back for round 2, that I'd let the dog back out after a bit because they left and that they'd think if they stayed silent for long enough? I could see the street from the front door of the house, and I checked the street regardless because this dude is a psycho. By the way, the reason I didn't see them when I was closing the window is because it kinda has a blind spot. You can't see onto the street too great to see, but you press your face against the glass on the opposite side. Otherwise, it's not visible. To clarify, his comment of "this one again" is because I told him once before not to let his kid use the fence as a monkey bar, and I called Lucky inside. He looked shocked when I was heading inside, and I heard him call me a trashy B-word. You know, the other word for a female dog, but I'm pretty sure the only female dog was his large lad. Anyway, he left about after a minute. This is not the same one as my previous Entitled Parents post. That is the end of today's video. If you enjoyed the stories I had for you, remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and check out my Reddit story playlist. I also have a horror story playlist if you enjoy some softer, more spooky videos. Now, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.